Hello my nerd musician friend, my name is Gustavo Silveira and in this video I'm going to tell you everything you should know about the Making Music with Arduino. The Making Music with Arduino is an online course that will teach you from scratch everything you need to know to build your own MIDI controllers the way you want it. And it will also teach you not only how to make MIDI controllers but also how to code and about electronics, giving you independence to create an infinity of other projects. And bear with me, once you know how to use an Arduino and how to code, the limit is your imagination. You can go from MIDI controllers to robotics, from art installations to web applications. You will learn a lot and it's definitely a skill set that will help you in your life and in your career. It's lots of fun. You will have your own MIDI controllers, you will save a lot of money, and you will take this knowledge for life. So before I go deep on what you're going to learn, just let me tell you how I started and why I'm teaching you this course today. So a lot of people think that I actually came from an engineering or a computer science background. The truth is that I came from probably the same place as you, from music production, electronic music. Actually, in 2014, I graduated in music composition in Brazil, and at that time, I have never soldered a wire in my entire life. No kidding. But it was only after I graduated that I was attracted by this invisible force that wants you to make things. And at that time, the invisible force was basically me being broken musician without money to buy the controllers that I wanted. So at that time, the controllers that I wanted, either they were too expensive or they didn't have the things that I wanted. So one day I had this spark. What if I made my own MIDI controller? So it was when the journey began. I spent months looking in every corner on the internet. How do I make a MIDI controller? Teach me how to make a MIDI controller! There wasn't a single place with all the information that I needed to make a simple MIDI controller. It took me months, but I was finally able to do my first controller. I made my first, then I made my second. So that's when I thought, if I am in the situation where I want to learn how to build my own MIDI controllers, I bet that there are more people like me, or even people that don't even know that it's possible and would benefit a lot from this. That's when I decided to create the Nerd Musician blog. And since then, my life changed completely. Since I started to share my tutorials, open source projects, and courses, my work started to be spread around the internets. And because of that, I was offered an assistantship to do a master's in music technology at Georgia Southern University, which made me come to the United States. Since then, I presented my work in the biggest maker fairs in the world, like the Bay Area Maker Faire, the World Maker Faire in New York City. I was featured in many specialized websites like Gear News, the JTech Tools, and even in the Arduino website. And in 2018, I was even a finalist in the Guthmann New Musical Instrument Competition, which is the world's biggest competition for new musical instruments in the world. And talking about the XT Synth, it's an instrument that got super popular, and that's the type of thing that you'll be able to do if you take this course. Just saying. But all of that, yes, to say that I know what I'm talking about, but mostly to tell you that if I did it, you can do it. This course is made for people that come from zero knowledge, just like I came. It goes from zero, intermediate, to advanced. So let me tell you why exactly you should be making your own MIDI controllers. First, from an artistic point of view, you like making music, you like making art, right? So have you ever wondered that you can make not only your music, but the tools that you use to make your music? And making them the way you want it would allow you to express yourself even more. And isn't music and art all about expression? Besides that, you have an instrument that's unique in the world. That's the only one. And bringing a unique instrument to the stage brings your performance to a whole new level. I guarantee you that after your shows, there are always gonna be people asking, "What the fuck's that?" And you'll just be able to say it. I made it. instantly gaining Jedi points with your fans. Next is from a practical standpoint. So for example, if you are an audio engineer, I'm sure that you have your favorite plugins, right? So imagine how much time you'd save if you had dedicated controllers to your favorite plugins. If you had a controller to your favorite EQ, compressor, or for your favorite synth, or one big controller that would have each part divided in your favorite plugins in the exact layout you want. For music production, music composition, recording, it can make your workflow 1,000 times better. And next is from the economic standpoint. Making your own MIDI controllers is so much cheaper than buying one. So instead of buying one, make 5, or just make the one that you can't afford. Do it yourself. And last but not least, the knowledge that you will get with this course will serve you not only for making MIDI controllers, it will serve you in much more. This is a full programming and electronics course. Engineering jobs are the ones that most grow in the world, so having this skill set can even land you in a high-paying job in the future. So the making music with Arduino is the perfect blend between our passion, which is music, art, with technology that will allow you to build your own MIDI controllers and will give you a set of skills that will take for life. And this course is all about getting you results. So let me show you what some of my students built after watching the course. So let's check what some of my students are doing. So let's check Andrea. He does some pretty beautiful controllers. You can see that he did like pretty different stuff and he's really great into design. Here's some of his designs, and that's something that I teach, how you can make your own enclosure designs on Fusion 360 or Inkscape. Then we have my student Carlos. He made a MIDI controller based in the SSL EQ, controller for DJs made by David. He even did the jog wheel. Then we have Christian. You can see here an EQ, and he made a dedicated controller for the EQ. And here you can see a controller that's still in development phase, which is intended for a VJ software. So this is from my student Lucas Aruda. He's a VJ and he uses, I guess, Resolumi Arena. So no matter if you're a DJ, electronic musician, studio engineer, or VJ, anything, any type of profession that works with MIDI can benefit from this course. And then this cute controller, sometimes you don't need something complex, you just need something simple that works. And that's exactly what he did. So now let me show you what you are going to learn inside the course. Let's dive into the platform and I'll show you the abundance of content that you have access once you subscribe to the course. So let's go. So okay, now here inside the platform where you can see all the classes and all the modules, and keep in mind that the course is constantly updated. So what you have now is just a percentage that you're gonna have in the future, right? So keep that in mind. And so let's go. So first module is complete introduction, everything you need to know about what the Arduino is, what it can do for you, everything about the MIDI protocol, the materials you're gonna need, where you can buy things, the fastest options, the cheapest options, and the basic for you to get started with the Arduino. Next module is how to use buttons and switches. Then you go to how to use the MIDI library, which is pretty important, you're gonna use throughout all the course. I have a specific classes just to teach you everything about the MIDI protocol, really in depth. Then how to use potentiometers and any type of sensor. This part is where things start to expand, where you can see that you can not only use potentiometers, but distance sensors, humidity sensors, pressure sensors, any sensor thing you can use to make your MIDI controller, or then you can start thinking about art installations, or it's up to you. Then we start to get deeper on the coding part, things that are going to be useful to anything in your programming life. If you want to learn other programming languages, if you want to go to C++, to Python, to Java, whatever, this module here is going to be super useful for anything code-wise in your life. Next, we see functions, which is also super important for coding. Then prototyping the controller, before you commit to your solder, to your final project, which things you have to keep in mind, how you make a prototype, okay, now I can go from this to my final project. Then choosing your components. Here I give you several advices on types of components I use, different types of arcade buttons, potentiometers, other types of sensors, just to open your mind regarding different types of things you can use in your MIDI controller so you don't get just attached to the basics, okay? Then one thing that I think it's one of the most important modules of this course, which is how to design and build your enclosure. And don't underestimate the importance of this. I think that learning how to design an enclosure was one of the things that I struggled mostly on how to build my MIDI controllers. And here I teach you several different techniques, like how to make a 2D or 3D enclosure in Fusion 360. I'm going to teach you how to use a 3D modeling software to make your own enclosures. Or you can use here in the next module, Inkscape, which is a 2D software a little bit more simple than Fusion 360, where I also show you my own designs, my own tips, how to connect things, the things that I wanted to know before I started. And finally, where you can send your designs to manufacture your own MIDI controllers or how you can make at home. Now it's complete controller, how you get all these different chunks of codes, how to solder and put everything together to make one complete controller. But it doesn't stop there, of course. Next, how to make your MIDI controller or your Arduino be recognized as a true USB MIDI class compliant device, or like just plug and play with the name you want for your MIDI controller. Then I have a whole module just for encoders, how to use those endless potentiometers, right, that can be used for jog wheels and many other things. Then we have multiplexers, which is about how you can increase the number of inputs or outputs of your Arduino, how to use MIDI in, which means how can you use MIDI from your computer to control your Arduino so you can control LED lights or motors or anything. You can even blow your neighbor's mind making this amazing Christmas installation in your house that responds to the music and blinks, or just be more creative than me, okay? And here in the end, on Complete Code Extended, I condensed in one code what I think is the most powerful and flexible code for MIDI controllers that there is on the internet, in my humble opinion, where I get everything we learned in the code and all the things we are learning and adding in one super mega flexible and powerful code on how you can implement dozens of components, dozens of encoders, LEDs, and use with any board you want in a way that's gonna be the thing that I'm sure you're gonna take for life. So yeah guys, that's about 60 classes, and as I told you, I'm adding more and more and more. So this is the best, the most complete source for how to make MIDI controllers and learning code and electronics in a way that's going to serve you to anything music-wise or anything creative-wise in your music career, in your artistic career, and I'm pretty sure that's just going to be the beginning for you. And that's gonna be a great skill set to have in your career. Okay, now here comes some bad news for you. I used to leave this course open all year long, but then it got hard to keep track of the students. So instead of doing that, I'm only opening the course a few times in a year. And I don't really know when it's going to be the next time I'm going to have another class open. So when the timer reaches 0, you won't be able to join this class anymore. And there's a great chance that next time I open this course, the prices will be higher. So the time to act is now, okay? So here's the deal, that's what I want you to do. I want you to click in Enroll in Course now so you can have access to the course with the best price possible. However, if you're still in doubt, no problem, just stick with me until the end of the video. So before I talk about pricing and plans, just let me make a recap about what's included inside the course. You will have access to 16 modules with about 60 classes in total, and I'm constantly adding more classes. You have access to periodic new MIDI controllers projects, and those projects are chosen by the students. So next project could be your idea. And so let me talk about which bonuses you're gonna get with the course. You have access to my own projects, which I took years to make. You have access to our closed Facebook group, and our Facebook group is really an extension of the course, where students can learn and help each other, they can network, and there I put a lot of more materials that are not inside the platform. And depending on the plan you choose, you can have my one-on-one personal support, where we can get together and I can look at your projects and give you a more personalized help. So now let's talk about how much you need to invest for joining the course. For example, if you wanted a specific controller, a controller that I think is really nice, which actually inspired me to make my first MIDI controller, the MIDI Fighter from DJ Tech Tools. Today, you'd pay $219.99, which can be cheap for some, but it can be expensive for others. So let's see how much you'd spend if you built a pretty similar controller, but using an Arduino. Now, get prepared because what I'm going to tell you is going to blow your mind. Let's say you need one Arduino, 16 arcade buttons, and an enclosure. If you look in websites like AliExpress in China, you can buy the Arduino for $5 or even less, each arcade button for 50 cents, so times 16 is $8 total, and you can order an enclosure for about $15. Plus $5 for wires, electricity, and etc. And I'm talking about conservative numbers here. You can find even cheaper things than that. And if you don't believe me, just go over there and look with your own eyes. So you'll be ending up paying $33 for a MIDI controller. You will save $187. And this is only for one controller. Imagine how much you can save in the long run building several MIDI controllers. Now, imagine that it doesn't need to be a clone from another controller. You can do the way you want it. So I ask you, what is the value of an instrument that is unique in the world? Imagine how many hours you'd spend if you had to do it like I did, spending about a year trying to figure out on your own how to make your MIDI controllers. How long it would take for you to gather all this information? How much is your time worth? So if I charge the value of each thing that you'd be getting with the course, you'd be paying about. If you build two controllers, you'd be saving about $187 plus $187, so $374. My live workshop costs about $120 per student. So let's say that's the price of my personal assistance you get as a bonus. So it would be $374 plus $120, so $494. And we are not even talking about the time that you save too. So I could be easily charging $494. However, my intention on making an online course is making it more affordable, so more and more people can become makers and spread this culture around the world, like hundreds of my students are already doing. So I came up with 3 different plans that will allow anybody to join. And when I say anybody, it's anybody. So ready? You can join our course for only $17 a month in our monthly plan. I know that a lot of people are skeptical about buying online courses or don't have much money to pay a full subscription, so this way anybody can join and stay as long as they want. You get all the content and have access to it for as long as you want. So this way there's no excuse of, I don't have money to buy this course. The only thing that can stop you now if you really think that this course is not for you. But if you're here, I'm sure it is. However, if you have a little more money to pay up front, I highly encourage you to get our yearly plan or our lifetime plan. Our yearly plan is only $77 per year, so this way you can save 60% and not be worried with monthly recurring payments. And my favorite is the lifetime plus one-on-one plan. It costs $97, but you pay just once and get all the content forever, not having to pay again next month or next year. But the nicest part about this plan is that it comes with my one-on-one support. I used to give the support as much as I could in the past, but now I have too many students and I can't focus as much as I want. So I decided to create a plan so I can have a selected group of people so I can give more attention to them. This way, when you need help with a specific thing, we can set up a time and chill, have a one-on-one conversation where I'll take a look in your code, schematics, etc. Or you can just send me your files and I'll get back to you as soon as I can with a solution, tips, tricks for a project, and etc. So I'm sure that one of these plans will fit your needs. So to recap, we have the monthly plan for $17, completely affordable, use the course and stay as long as you want. Then we have the yearly plan where you pay per year, $77. This way you can save up to 60% every year. But if you can invest a little more, go for the lifetime plan, because this way you have access to the course forever, not having to worry to pay more next month or year. And you have my one-on-one support, which itself is already worth the $97. And if you still have any doubt about it, know that's totally risk-free. You have a 30-day money-back guarantee. I trust so much my product that I take the risk. So just enroll in the course and see if it's for you. If you don't like it, for any reason, you can have your money back, no questions, no bureaucracy. Okay, so now here's what I want you to do. Click or smash that enrolling course button. As I said, I'll be only accepting students for the next couple of days, so when the timer hits 0, you won't be able to join this course anymore. And next time I open the course, probably will be more expensive, so now it's the perfect time to enroll. And remember, you have a 30-day money-back guarantee, your total satisfaction or your money back, no questions. So click in enrolling course now, and I'll see you in the other side. Click it.